Hello, my health freedom loving friends. Misty Carlfeld here with Health Freedom Idaho, and I'm here with Sarah Clendenin.
Hi.
We're going to give you guys an update about the bills that are happening and an event that's coming up. So there's lots to talk about. So let's get right to it. We have a bill.
Yes, we do.
And Sarah worked so hard on this bill, you guys. And I think it was very eye-opening for me to see how many times you have to go back and forth and try again, and it's not the right wording, and send it to an attorney, and then he's saying, no, that's not right, and then sending it to, I mean, Sarah has put in hours and hours and hours on this bill. And so tell us about it.
Well, first of all, it wasn't just me. We had Scott Herndon, who was brilliant. We had our attorney. I mean, there was a ton of eyeballs on this. And yes, we went through a lot of drafts.
But that's how you know it's good.
Yeah, well, it is. It really is. Because then a lot of people have debated it. It did have a print hearing, and the committee actually had some concerns too. And then it went back, and we redrafted again. And then it had another print hearing and actually got printed. So the hearing this week, which is Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. In House Health and Welfare, that is its first actual reading as a bill. It has a bill number. It's House Bill 133.
And we have an event created in the group.
In the group, there is an event created so that you can see. I actually posted screenshots of the bill text so you can see the wording changes. Essentially what it does is anytime a school or daycare is presenting to parents the information about vaccine requirements, the state vaccine requirements, they will now be required to also present to parents the actual text that shows your right to be exempt.
What?
Oh my gosh. So exciting. It's so exciting because we hear all the time from parents. They're like, I never would have vaccinated my kids if I had just known there were exemptions. Like, I mean, in our group and among our, health freedom circle, we know, but there are so many parents out there that do not even realize that Idaho has exemptions or that that's even a thing.
No, I mean, I was in real estate class and somehow vaccines came up in this real estate class. And the dad was like, well, I mean, all the kids have to be vaccinated to attend school, so why are we even discussing this? And I was like,
that's what parents, I mean, up to this point have been told by the schools and daycares. I mean, I had my own experience, which is what started a lot of things for us a couple years ago with my daycare, saying you absolutely have to vaccinate you anyway. So,
and then you don't even research it because you think you have to do it anyway.
Yeah, you're told there's no option. So this bill would make it so that anytime a parent is told that, they're also shown the actual wording in Idaho code that says your right to be exempt for both daycare attendance and school attendance. So this bill would modify both sections of code.
That is
the
awesome.
Daycare and the school one.
And I think another reason that they don't want us to know about our exemptions is because then if they try to take them away and parents think that they've lost those exemptions already, then they don't even know to fight for it. Right? Because then they're like, oh, I thought I lost that already. So you're like, oh, well, whatever.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
Didn't even know
so
that was a thing.
What difference does it make?
Yeah, it's not going to change my life.
Right.
But if you know about the exemptions, it's going to cause parents to do some research because, I could opt out. That's an option. And then it's also going to let you know what rights are worth fighting for. So I'm really excited.
And the other thing
this is going to do a lot of education.
It also goes to the heart of our bills from the last few years with the exemption form, because if parents are seeing the actual code that says a signed statement by a parent, then they'll know, I mean, at least it'll take them down that road of knowing that they don't have to sign the state form either. Bonus.
So that is House Bill 133.
Yes.
And so feel free to email your legislators.
Please do.
And we've got links on healthfreedomidaho.org. That's where I always post those links of how to get to your senators and your representatives' emails. And say, just vote yes on House Bill 133. You don't have to say anything else other than that. Just put it in the subject line. Vote yes on House Bill 133. This is an important bill to me. That's enough.
Or if you have time and you're willing, if you could call and leave a message saying that. Phone calls are huge because emails, they get thousands of emails. But if you can make a phone call and leave a voicemail or talk to them, even better.
Yes. So this would be a huge win for health freedom. Okay, so the next one is the CBD bill. So this is the one that is bringing Idaho into compliance with the 2018 Farm Bill. And by all accounts, everybody's happy about it. The Hemp Roundtable has endorsed it. They like it. So I think that's...
Yeah, it seems, I mean, we haven't had a lot of time to really dig into it.
It's a lot of pages.
Yeah, it's a big bill because I think it's bringing the language from the federal code into Idaho code. So it is a lot of text.
Yes.
So we haven't really dug into it, like every specific word, but on the surface it looks really good, and all the
Right.
people that we would want to see supporting it are.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people are excited about growing it, the opportunities
Yes.
that can bring to our state. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's really exciting.
Yeah, this is definitely getting us closer to more freedom.
Yes.
Which is the goal.
Yes.
Always the goal.
Yes.
More liberty.
Okay, and then that brings me to the naturopathic licensing bill, which is House Bill 152. I believe it's going to have its first hearing on Tuesday. Again, we don't really know for sure until it's on the schedule, which is about 24 hours before it's scheduled. So I'm hearing that it could be Tuesday. And I did a whole video on this with my hubby, so you can go to the page or go to the group. It'll be there, explaining how the naturopathic licensing really does create a monopoly and really is discriminatory.
Sure.
Working on my what I'm going to have to say in front of the legislature about it. It might surprise some of you what I end up saying, because it'll be a little bit different than my normal, you know, standing on my rights and these are our natural rights. It's going to be a little different.
Well, it should be different. Your husband is a naturopath. I mean, you have
Yeah.
a personal connection to this issue.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do.
For sure.
Okay, and then the CPS bill. House Bill 170,
Yes.
Representative Heather Scott, who is amazing,
Brilliant. Amazing.
yes,
Yes.
is bringing this bill. And it'll be really great, because then when CPS comes to the door, they actually have to tell you what your rights are. If this gets passed, they have to let you know that you have the right to an attorney, you have the right to be silent, instead of trying to nice their way into your house or telling you that they have more authority than a police officer. I think this will be really great for Idaho parents.
For sure. Yeah, because I think the minute someone says to you, you actually have the right to be silent, I think for everybody, that's like the trigger, like, oh, maybe I should be silent. And that's really important for people to know their rights, be notified of their rights, and then be able to exercise their rights.
Right.
For sure. So this
Right.
is definitely a good bill to support.
Yeah, so that would be House Bill 170. So again, you can email the legislators and say, vote yes on House Bill 170. And then, sorry, I forgot to say the naturopathic licensing would be a vote no on House Bill 152.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, this one is something Sarah is very excited about. We all should be very excited about. That's the rules review process, House Bill 100.
Yes. So, as we all know, because of what happened with meningitis, right now, the way it is in Idaho law is that a rule only has to be approved by one committee, and then it becomes an approved rule, which has the full force and effect of law. What this bill would change is, instead of a concurrent resolution being a possibility for a way to reject it, it would actually become the requirement for it to be approved. So now a pending rule would have to have a concurrent resolution written, and it would have to pass both the House and the Senate to be an approved rule. So it's going to make the rules a lot harder to get through, which we want.
Yes.
Because these departments spend all year, when everybody else is having their summer vacation, they're spending
Yep.
all that time writing these rules, and they are scary. And then it just took one committee, like with meningitis, it took 7 people in that one committee,
Yeah.
and now it's a mandated vaccine for all
Right.
12th graders. So this would make rules a lot more difficult to get through, and that's exactly what we want. That's how it should be. Our
Right.
founders intended for things to be difficult so that they would go slowly through the process and be scrutinized by lots of eyeballs.
Right.
So that's what I would like to see have happen.
I know, that would be amazing.
Yes.
It would have really given us more of a chance to stop that rule, the meningitis rule.
Yes.
And like Sarah's saying, basically 7 people in all of Idaho mandated a meningitis vaccine for 12th graders.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't have the full hearing that a bill does, and yet it has the full force of law. So,
Exactly.
so we're really excited about that. I would definitely recommend that you email your legislators, if not all of them, and say to vote yes for House Bill 100, and that it's important to you. You don't have to, have big long emails. It's almost better if you don't. So don't stress out about it. Definitely make phone calls. That's always easy too, because you can just call and say, yeah, I really like this bill, and have a conversation if you get them on the phone.
Well, and I think on that one, I believe that it actually passed the House floor on
Oh,
Friday.
that's right.
So if you are going to do emails and phone calls, now it's Senate side.
Right, it's
Yeah.
Senate side. So it's actually
Yeah.
even less time, because
Yeah.
there's less senators.
It's already passed the House. That's amazing. And there's less senators. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, it had hit the floor. Oh, yeah. No, I agree with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have a measles event.
Yes. tomorrow night.
Tomorrow.
So Ashley Everly, our brilliant toxicologist, is
She's
doing...
amazing.
Yes, oh my gosh.
You won't want to miss this.
There's so much information in her brain that I wish the whole world had, and I'm hoping tomorrow night that will happen.
Yes.
So she is doing a presentation and a PowerPoint and everything at Maine Health Solutions in Meridian, and I think there's an event.
Yep, there is an event. On the Health Freedom Idaho page, we have an event that'll give you the directions and everything, where to be.
So it's 6 o'clock tomorrow night in Meridian.
Yep.
And it's going to be online.
Oh, yeah. It'll be online.
I think it's going to be the Maine Health Solutions page and the HFI page.
Yep.
So there should be lots of opportunities to be able to be in on that.
Yeah, we will be going live.
Yep.
And Dr. Rosie Main will be there, and she's amazing and brilliant. So, I mean, it's like 2 for the price of 1 there, you know?
Yeah. And totally free.
Yeah.
You do not have to pay for this event.
Yes, totally free. That's important.
So you can either show up or watch online. Either way, it's free.
And honestly, you guys, I mean, you all are paying attention, I'm sure, with what's going on in the states around us. And measles seems to be kind of the gateway into removing your exemptions.
Yeah.
So it's really important that we take down the stress level about measles and educate each other. So this might be a good thing if you've been talking with other moms, other parents, or your grandparents, your family members, and you're trying to sort of bring them down a little bit. Invite them to watch it.
Yeah.
Send them a link and invite them to watch it and help us bring down. The only way I know how to counteract the fear-mongering that's happening in the fake news media is to get real truth out there. But it's going to take all of us sharing it with people, even if it's a little bit uncomfortable. And you say, hey, check this out. This might be something to listen to. Then it's coming from somebody like brilliant Ashley, and it doesn't have to be on your shoulders to make it all make sense.
Right. You can say, hey, I didn't say it. The toxicologist said it.
Right. Yeah. Well, when Ashley talks about science, I use it as a verb.
Yes.
Because she will science you.
Yes, she will. And she's so good at it. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay, Sarah, I didn't really totally prepare you for this, maybe a little bit.
Okay.
But I just think you should talk to people about rights and where they come from.
Okay.
And how, when we're giving them giving our rights to the government, how they give them back to us.
Yes.
In smaller portions.
Yes, that's very frustrating. Yes.
And so I've been wanting to try to kind of like poke this mama bear because when she gets on that soapbox, it's so good.
So, I mean, I haven't had a glass of wine.
So I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna let her do her thing. I'll pop some popcorn. I'll be like, go girl, go, get it.
Well, it is really frustrating. I mean, on a lot of these things, even though we get excited about these bills, I mean, there is always this issue of it feels like we forget that we have these inherent rights. Every human has natural inherent rights that, they do not come from government. They did not come from the Constitution. Right. They did not come from our founders. Like, these are inherent in all people. And it's frustrating, to see these things that we take for granted. We forget that we have a right. Like, we forget we have all these rights. And then they start to strip them away, and then we have to write these bills to try to, like, in little tiny pieces, get our rights back. And it's so frustrating. I know, like, when we're having meetings and when we're talking about all these bills, like, I get really frustrated because it's like, why are we having to work so hard to get back these little tiny pieces of our rights that were ours to begin with? Like, so frustrating. So I often get on my soapbox and get upset about rights.
Which I love because she brings me back in when I'm like, oh, well, maybe we should write a bill for this. And she's like, we already have that right.
Yes.
No.
Don't enumerate your rights that are already yours. Like, and I think that that's a tendency, which of course, I mean, it is. We want to, like, reestablish what are our rights, but you can't, like, always write down everything because anything that's not written down is already inherent in the people. You know what I mean? Like, so it is frustrating to have good bills, but then to kind of step back and look at it from a big perspective of these were already our rights, and like, why are we having to work so hard to come back to where we should be, which is in a place of liberty. Like, we are all free. Like, we are free only to the point of, like, encroaching on someone else's freedom. And I think we forget that, like, that is our natural right to have all freedom. We are completely free except for if we try to step on someone else's freedom. That's the only limit.
Right. And then once you enumerate those rights, meaning you write them down.
And put them in a state code.
Yeah, put them in a code.
Yeah.
Then the state can start messing with them.
Yes.
So what was that one where the pharmacist could vaccinate kids?
Oh,
remember that? The age. What was the age? It was like
from 12 down to 6?
Yeah, or 10 to 5 or something like that. And they literally just, changed one word, which was the age of the child. Mm-hmm. But the impact of that one word change means that pharmacists could then vaccinate children.
Right.
Do they have the children's records? No. Do they inform parents about VAERS? No. Or IRIS? No.
Do we know if they're reporting an IRIS? So then you don't know how many times the child's had a flu shot or
they
whatever.
Don't. I went to all those pharmacies at that time when that bill was being heard, all the major ones, and they were like, no, we don't report to IRIS. And I was like, well, you understand that means that a child can be vaccinated more than once then. And they were like, yeah, so.
It's not their problem. They're not going to be held liable, so
No.
they don't even care. It's terrifying.
And I went and I testified that in front of committee, and they were like, oh. So, yeah. So then we had all these really great arguments, and then Fred Wood said, let's just remember it's just a number.
Oh.
We're just changing a number.
And that is so beyond frustrating because exactly what you said, like once you start writing it down, then they can just tweak it just a little bit and all of a sudden everything changes.
Everything changes.
Yeah. And so it's...
And their argument to all of our well-founded, researched arguments, it's just a number.
Just a number. Just one little number.
Just a
What's
number.
the big deal? Fred Wood,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that's how easy it is for them to change something and have it change everything, but have them make it sound like it's very simple.
Right. No big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah.
So when you look at something like naturopathic licensing, and if they say, okay, well, you have the right now, which they already have the right to do.
Right.
Now we're going to enumerate your rights and tell you that you have the right to do X, Y, Z. And then they're like, next session, like, never mind, not Z.
Right.
They just line it out.
You know where we saw that was with the chiropractors and the ability to give IVs. They could give IVs, then they couldn't. Then they could, then they couldn't.
Yep.
Like it's back and forth. Every session, it was different what they could and couldn't do. And it's like,
Yep.
it is my right to choose my practitioners and have them be able to have all healing options available. I don't need the legislature to take things away and give them back and take things away and give them back. That is baloney.
And those chiropractors, they couldn't stay in existence.
Yeah.
Because they're all set up to do IVs, which is expensive.
Yeah.
And then they get that right taken away, and they've built their practice on being able to give IVs.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, well, you're welcome. We give you the right back next year.
Yeah, and then they act like we should be so grateful that they gave us our rights back. Oh, thanks.
Oh, thank you. You've already put me out of business.
Yes. And the patients are like, now what do I do?
Right.
Like, it's ridiculous.
The patients who need it desperately are scrambling to find another way to get their IVs that are helping them to be well and helping them to get their life back.
Yes.
So then they're like, okay, you're welcome, chiropractors. Now you can do IVs again. Well, they've already lost their business.
And they never had a right to say whether they couldn't or could or couldn't in the first place.
Because we already had the right to access that.
Yes. That's what health freedom is all about. The right to make your own decisions for your own healing.
I've learned so much from this girl for that. I mean, I remember when the naturopathic licensure bill first happened, and this is what brought me into politics.
Yeah.
I was like, well, don't we want licensure? Don't we want... You know, so I was still of that mindset where I thought the government needed to protect me, and the government didn't I find a great naturopath all on my own? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Because the free market works.
And he didn't have a license at that point.
And he didn't have a license.
Yeah.
And nobody's getting hurt.
No.
People are actually getting well.
People are healing.
Yeah.
Yes. Imagine that.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for getting on your soapbox.
No problem.
Any other soapboxes while we're on?
Not at the moment. Try make it next week. I'm sure I'll have one.
Yeah, so I think we'll try to do this each week because there's a lot of stuff brewing. I mean, oh my gosh, we saw all kinds of stuff.
The session has been crazy.
Yeah.
It's like all these things. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff, bad stuff. Anyway, we're doing the best we can because there's so much going on. It's hard to get you all updated on everything that's happening.
Right.
So we kind of have to zero in on.
Yeah, there are a ton of bills that we didn't even talk about because there's just so many. There's so much this session. Like we have to really focus on what we think is the most important health freedom bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, guys. Okay, so be watching. I'll be doing the 5-minute activism, and be ready to be at the Capitol. Oh, and don't share this video. This is just for the group.
Yes,
this is
please.
just for our people.
Yes. In previous years, we've kind of made it a lot more public, and
Yeah.
then we have a whole lot of other people that don't like our bill show up, and obviously we'd rather have it be friendly, only health freedom people as much as possible. Obviously anybody is able to come, but
we don't advertise
only
it.
going to advertise to our friendly people that we know, our group.
Right.
So that's Wednesday morning, 9 a.m., House Health and Welfare, which is on the east side, East Wing 20.
Yes, and there's an event created in the group.
Yes.
So we would love for you to be there. And if you are using a naturopathic doctor of some kind, I would love for you to be there at the naturopathic licensing bill.
Oh, yes.
That would be really great, which I think will be
is
Tuesday.
Okay.
And I think the CPS one will be Tuesday as well.
Oh, yeah.
That's a possibility. So just be watching, because being there is really important. It shows numbers. It shows that we're growing. It shows that we're passionate. It shows that we're not just keyboard warriors.
Yeah, and that the people value their liberty, and that we are going to show up and stand strong for it.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.
Hope that helped. Oh, crap, I just shared it. Okay, thanks, Robert.
Oh, were we already off?
No. Dang it,
No, it
delete
still
my
says
share. Oh, yeah,
Hi, we
yes,
don't know what we're
Tuesday this
doing.
week. Oh, no.